gosh, I can't believe I'm back in front of this camera. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're an OG Loveloz subscriber, then hey, and if you're a brand new subscriber, welcome to my channel. Previously, the videos you would have seen here were like focused on hair and beauty, things which I still love to this day. You may see, you know, some videos on that because you know your girl still loves to look cute every now and again. But this channel is going to focus on property, as you can tell by the title. It's going to be a Q&A based on my first property purchase, so a lot of content surrounding that. Also home decor, how I'm going to start kind of getting my home together, all the pieces that I'm going to put in it, how I'm going to put it together, things like that. So excited. And travel, because I love to travel. Once Boris Johnson unlocks those borders, I'm gone. So be sure to keep an eye out for that content, and please make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already. Hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification to know when I upload a new video. And if you do enjoy this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment below of what you want to see in the future. I'm not going to drag this intro any further. Let's just get straight into it. Okay, so a couple disclaimers just before we get started. First of all, if you haven't got a cocktail already, what are you waiting for? This is going to be a bit of a lengthy one, so you need a cute little drink. Second disclaimer is that I am in no way, shape or form a financial advisor, a legal advisor, a property advisor. This is all based on my experience. This is all based on my journey of purchasing a property, so that's where my answers are coming from. Please do your research. So let's just get into it. I asked you guys on my Instagram, which if you're not following yet, go and give it a follow. I'm gonna put the details right here. Actually no, I'm gonna leave the details at the bottom just here. So the first question that I have is, did you use an ISA? And the short answer to that is no, I didn't use an ISA. The main reason why I didn't use an ISA is because A, the Help to Buy ISA it ended in November 2019, and I made my reservation for my property in December 2019. So I basically missed out on making like that choice, so that choice was made for me. And then the other ISA that's available is the Lifetime ISA, and basically I'll explain this in my story time of like how I bought my property. I didn't really consider buying a property until like late in the game. So I'd been saving on the side with the hopes of one day purchasing a property, but the opportunity for the property that I'm in now just so happened to come about in a time frame where I couldn't have a long time to save essentially. And so for me, the Lifetime ISA just didn't make sense, but it's definitely something I would recommend. You can use it in conjunction with saving elsewhere as well, so I would highly recommend using the Lifetime ISA. Second question is, how did you manage to save money yet pay for bills, live life? What was your process? Okay, so I'm definitely going to do a dedicated video on this, but high level, I didn't really have too many bills. I was really lucky, really blessed that I was living at home, and basically I would contribute to kind of like the food shop. That was like my home contribution. The only kind of main expense that I had was my car. So my car at the time was on finance, and I was paying for my insurance monthly as well. Also, I would drive to work every day, so Monday to Friday, and I had to pay kind of petrol and like dart charge every month. So that was the extent of my kind of bills when I started working. And my saving journey was never with an end goal of buying a house solely. I was just always encouraged just to save generally. So I would set up a direct debit. I would have my money taken from my account every time I would get paid, and that would go into savings. And so that culture or that kind of habit of saving helped me to be able to purchase my property. The second part to the question was more towards how was I able to kind of live life, like enjoy life. For me, it wasn't until I started my second job after uni that I was able to kind of have that balance, because essentially I was able to earn more money, which meant I could save more, but also I had some small money left over to kind of enjoy it. And so for me, enjoyment comes mainly from going out to eat and going on holiday. So in terms of like clothes and bags and shoes and things like that, I can really go without buying new clothes But for me, I like have to go on holiday, I need to enjoy. And so what I would do is, for example, birthdays and Christmases, that's essentially what I would ask for. I'd ask for money towards a particular holiday, or I would ask for flight vouchers and things like that. And that helped me to enjoy. So I was able to kind of exercise like what I enjoy doing, and at the same time I was able to maximize like the amount I was able to save, because that money wasn't then going to the things that I would generally do. For me, it was just finding that balance. There were many times where I wanted to go on particular trips, for example my friends' birthdays trips, and I couldn't attend because I just didn't have that excess money to go on the trip. It was really important to me for me to also enjoy as well as save. You can do it cold turkey and just save all your money and you don't do anything, but for me, I still need to have a decent quality of life day to day. Even if what I'm saving for is for the future, today I still need to be happy, you know? I'm really happy with the decision that I've made with regards to how I saved, so yeah. Okay, so the next question is, how much did you save for your deposit? For my deposit, a good chunk of it was provided by my parents. So I was really lucky, really blessed that they were able to contribute towards my deposit. Essentially, that money was saved for me from when I was basically a baby. The money was meant to be for like student loans. So it was meant to help contribute towards paying off my student loan. But with the way we pay off student loan in the UK, I just didn't see the desire or the need to pay off any earlier than I need to. And so what I was able to do is I was able to use that money towards my deposit. But then that didn't cover the entire deposit, so there was about an extra £8,000 that I needed to add on top of that. The next question is, how did you end up to be in the position to save? If you're in a position where you have an income and your fixed costs are paid off and there's money left over, then you're in a position to save. No matter how little or how small you think that is, like genuinely every penny counts. So start saving whenever you can is the first thing. The second thing, which might come across a bit blunt, but it's essentially you need to earn more money. The way in which mortgages are calculated, your salary is a huge contributing factor towards how much you're allowed to borrow, and therefore what type of property you're able to buy. The more you earn, the better opportunity you have to purchase a property, the better chance you have to have a mortgage, and then also subsequently the more disposable income you have to save towards said property. So for me, being able to increase my salary was like the main, probably the biggest reason why I was able to purchase the property at the time I was able to purchase it. That could be with regards to increasing your salary in your current job, so having a promotion or moving jobs in order to increase your salary. I've done both things, which I can touch on as well in another video, but essentially those two things. If you have disposable income, you can save, and if you have a higher salary, you can save more. Okay, this was a really good question. Somebody asked me, how much extra do you advise to save after the deposit? This is really important because a lot of people focus on the deposit amount alone. So for example, if you were using a scheme such as Help to Buy, the minimum requirement is to have a 5% deposit. If you're buying outside of a scheme, usually it's around 10 to 20% that you get asked for. A lot of people focus on saving towards that, which is very important, but then you also need to realize that there are many costs you need to cover as well as the deposit itself. For example, your deposit is for 5%. I would say an extra 2 to 3% on top of that for kind of expenses or costs surrounding the whole purchasing process, and that will help you towards kind of your mortgage advisor fees, should you go for a mortgage advisor, which I 100% recommend, your solicitor's fees, and fees surrounding your completion. So things such as land registry, your service charge if you're in an apartment, or some new build houses also have service charge, and your ground rent. Again, I'm going to go more in depth with regards to kind of those charges that you get at each stage of the process. But yeah, my recommendation to answer this question is to have about 2 to 3% on top of what you're saving for your deposit. The next question is moving away from like deposits and saving and more to furnishing. So the question is, what are the estimated costs of furnishing your home? So this is really interesting because it's very subjective. It essentially comes down to what you like and what you want in your home. Typically, I think for one bed, £5,000 to furnish the property completely is a reasonable amount to go for. The first thing I did was I basically made a notes page and I separated it by room. So I started with my bedroom, then I moved to the living room, then I moved to the hallway, dining. I would just note down what I would need in each room. Like my bedroom, I need a bed, I need bedside tables, I need a dressing table. My living room, I need a sofa, I need a coffee table, I need a TV. And essentially I would build on that and add on things that were like decor. So my living room, there's coffee table books that I would like. In my bedroom, there's artwork that I want to put up. And so that started to give me an idea about how much I would need to save towards that. For me, it's about £7,000 to £8,000 to completely furnish the property head to toe, but that's ever changing. Like, it fluctuates, it goes up, it goes down. Sometimes I want a particular item, sometimes I change my mind and it's a cheaper item, sometimes I change my mind, it's a more expensive item. So it really does just fluctuate, but around 7,000 to 8,000 is the mark. Really highly recommend having something like this just to understand what your taste costs, essentially. But I migrated from this onto a spreadsheet, which I can go through in kind of a more like home decor focused video. The next question that I have is, what were the unexpected costs? It was more so unexpected processes than unexpected costs, which I will cover in my story time because there were a lot. The main unexpected cost was really understanding how much service charge to pay at completion, because when I'd previously spoken to my solicitor about it, they estimated about 6 months worth, but they said they can't like confirm that. They have to wait until the developer confirms that, basically. But they said 6 months should be enough. Then essentially closer to my completion time, I raised the question again. This time I was dealing with somebody else who then mentioned it may be 6 months to a year. All my money was tied up, as in every single penny that I had was going towards something to do with my house. So when they mentioned that I need to save an extra 6 months worth of service charge, that really rattled my core. So essentially I spoke to my mortgage advisor and they mentioned that they don't believe it should be more than 6 months, I should be okay. And luckily when I had my completion kind of receipt come through, it was only about 6 months, which is so good, because if it wasn't, I'd be so screwed. So for me, just make sure that you save above and beyond at each time. Even though I said previously to save about 2 to 3%, that's just a really rough estimate. You really need to save the maximum needed. So if that means saving a year's worth of service charge just in case, then I would recommend doing that. Yeah, that was really the main kind of like unexpected cost that I came about. Main reason being is because I had watched a lot of other YouTubers talk about the process and they had like some really helpful tips. So people like Jade Van Riel, she gave some really good tips in some of her property videos, and I'll probably just link a few or list a few of them down below, so you should definitely go check them out if you're interested in kind of property videos and like first time property videos. Final question, what's the one thing you wish you knew before starting this process? That's a really good question. So for me, like I said, it's mainly on the process side of things. I chose to use the Help to Buy scheme. What I wish I knew beforehand was to apply for the loan before applying for the mortgage, because the loan takes into account how much you're allowed to borrow and therefore determines what your mortgage is going to be. So I did it the other way around. So I applied for my mortgage, and within my mortgage I was offered the amount of money I wanted and more, because I also wanted to purchase a car park space. I was ecstatic, I was really happy. They gave me kind of the amount that I was looking for, which was great. Then I went to go apply for my Help to Buy equity loan, and they determine your affordability differently to a mortgage. So with a mortgage, it's the bog standard kind of way to purchase a property. What they take into consideration is things like your salary, your debt, and your credit rating. Those are the kind of main things that determines how much the lender is willing to give to you. However, with the Help to Buy, they take that into consideration, as well as the interest rates that you're going to be paying in 5 years, because the first 5 years is interest free, so you don't pay any interest towards the loan, but then you start paying it in 5 years time. But they base that on your current status. So essentially the affordability is much lower with Help to Buy, because your monthly payments will be much more than they would be when you first start paying your monthly payments. He essentially said to me that I wasn't allowed to borrow as much as I had been offered with my mortgage. That caused a lot of complications, particularly during my exchange of contracts. There were many revisions that had to be done. I had to go back to the bank and basically say, hey, thanks for all this money that you're giving me, but I can't take all of it. I'm not allowed to. Which really, yeah, that really got to me. I was really upset, which meant I couldn't get my car park space, which is another story for another day. But I just wish I knew that process a lot better. I did have a mortgage advisor and she was absolutely excellent with regards to the mortgage, as in the mortgage that I got, with the lender that I got, with the interest rates that I got. I absolutely would not have been able to get that without her. But with regards to the Help to Buy, I didn't get as much kind of advice or help on that side of things, which I wish I did have. I really wish I knew that in advance, so that way it would have just been less ag and less stress for me, essentially. Okay, so that wraps up the Q&A. I really want to thank everyone for sending in those questions. If there's anything that you want me to cover or any questions that you have in mind, please leave them down below. I'll try to give you the best reply possible. Or if you feel like it's something that could be done in a video, please give me any kind of suggestions that you want, the videos that you want to see, and they'll come right through. I already have so many ideas in terms of content. I'm really excited to put this content out for you guys. I just want to say thank you for staying tuned or watching till the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.